time, we use stay. Is that what we used to? Not a problem. We'll make sure you change. The churches do things different ways. What happened on stand, what happened away, what happened building.
Amen.
Although the roof does help when it's raining outside. Well, it's good to be with you again. I think it's around third time in here. And appreciate you welcoming me again. So happy you got to protect Joe. I've known for years. And you want a series of your questions. I appreciate it very, very much. Now, I'd like to draw your attention to Luke chapter 6. Luke chapter 6. I encourage people to follow along in the scriptures because they don't believe they need to discuss something said. Maybe don't talk faster or different. And listen to it or you like a tie on. Don't believe anything to that. God's saying in the scriptures. It's also good because if I get lost, you can just learn something anyway. So stick with the Bible. So chapter 6, verses 37 through 42. Luke 6, 37 to 42. I'll start with verse 37. And this is Jesus speaking. Judge not, and you will not be judged. We can stop right there. So people quote that all the time. People that don't know the Bible, boy, they know those two words, judge not. And Jesus spoke. So we're going to learn what it means. Judge not, you will not be judged. Condemn not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For with the measure you use, will be measured back to you. He also told a parable. Can a blind man lead a blind man? Will they not both fall into a pit? The disciple is not above his teacher, but everyone, when he is fully trained, will be like his teacher. Why do you see the speck? This is important, verse 41. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Verse 42. How can you say to your brother, brother, let me take out the speck that is in your eye, and not see the log that is in your own eye? You can first take the log out of your own eye, and then you see clearly, take out the speck in your brother's eye. And Lord, ask us to read and drink of this portion of His Word. Well, I told you to listen up particularly when we were talking about the speck, verse 41. Because that's a question that Jesus asked. Why do you see the speck in your brother's eye? And that's we're going to think about that right now. And here I am in the presence of a wonderful group of people. I've always loved their faculty before I even knew you. Who's great pastor. Those are my friends, and appreciate you very much. Marty has a number of different effective ministries as you faithfully serve God over the years. I appreciate you. You're faithfully right now. And yet, I'm asking you all the question, why do you see the speck? I'm asking myself the question, why do I see the speck? Somebody else's life. And this is the law that is in Now, this is one of those messages where it's great. Maybe it's nice to tell all the other people who didn't hear it. You really wish they would have heard it. But we're here because we're supposed to be here. And that's one of the difficulties of being a faithful, good, church-going person. We're sometimes tempted to think of all the people that should have been here to hear that. not for Christians, this is just for all the other people we know that need this. It's across the board. So some of us may need to hear this a lot. Some of us may need to hear this a little, but we need to hear this. So why, when you have a lot in your own mind, you see the speck in someone else's mind? I'm not going to have all the answers, but I want to share four with you. And the first one is this. Why do you see the speck of this law? Because you're not being like Jesus. Because we're not being like Jesus. And thankfully, I don't think that you do this regularly, but you can do it. You can do it. I can do it coming in here. I can do it coming in and say, here, I'm going to do it. And there's not a person in here that has as much theological training as I have. And the pastor's here. I got has theological training than he. And the worship leader, he's got theological training. I got more hours in than he. So if we're reading it by hours in, and then if we think back to Jesus' day, who were the people back then that thought that they were all hot stuff? They were religious leaders that Jesus condemned before anybody else. Yeah. So I'm going to give that right attention up. But, we did think that way too. My sister or cousin, boyfriend, or next door neighbor, they didn't do the church like I did. And then we're just going to skip the message and just rip it off because this one's not for me. We're not being like Jesus. If you can see in the verses 35 to 38, it says that we need to love them, we need to lend things, sometimes just give things away. When I was young, I had to save up money because I wasn't married yet. We used to say, oh, you're not married. And somebody very close to me, a relative, said, I need some money, and I had it, and so I gave it. They said, it's a loan or a gift? I said, God told you, find your baby, don't give it back, it's fine, God will take care of it. And 5 years later, the guy shocked me, he gave it all back. I was like, I didn't expect that, but it was nothing. That's not saying you give things away, but it's just blend and be merciful. And it also says we're not supposed to judge. So be good and love, that sounds easy. But don't judge. Forgive people. Forgive people. Now forgive people does not mean. Forgive people does not mean scanning the ages that are present here. So if there's a young one who's being abused in some traumatic, terrible way, feels like you talk about, is that person good to forgive? Absolutely. But do they need to? Do they need to allow it to happen again? Absolutely not. If intervene, call the right hotline, get somebody involved in there, let that never happen again. And I've stood next to people like that. But you don't ever happen to you again. That does not mean like somebody making fun of you. I like a certain sports team. Somebody would come up all the time and they would tease me about my sports team because that would hurt my feelings. And I was figuring them out. But I just said, yeah, stop saying it because it wasn't any fun anymore. He was having fun to get me riled up. And it's not. It was stop. What did I do? Hurt my feelings a little bit. That's not the same as someone who's been traumatically abused. And then people let it happen again. You put them out, you king. Maybe I'm a king in the bathroom, if the door's locked, I'm the only one in there. But, my job is to protect it so nobody ever says anything that hurts my feelings a little money. Good luck with that. No, we've got to keep things in some kind of perspective. And most things in life, you just have to forgive. You start storing them up and you carry them around with you. That's what people do with these mental illnesses. They just don't deal with it. They don't have to give it to God. Let it go. Don't try to make the world right yourself. Don't just, die and your stomach will be in knots and your brain will be foggy and burnt down, just forget it. Forget it. If your best friend is just annoying you all the time, and you pray for him, you can't live in Jesus, then stop that annoying. Well, you're the best friend. But you are supposed to forgive. And you're not supposed to judge. And particularly in here, you're not supposed to condemn. Because that would be saying, like, I am the judge. You see, that's what, like, after 8 words in verse 37. Condemn people. Now, there are judges that are allowed to condemn societies like them to do that. They condemn you to 10 years in jail or like your chair. They're allowed to do that. The president's allowed to say, you're no longer condemned, uncondemned. But we're going to supposed to do that. It's not your job or my job to go to condemn you. Some of us have been raised so we feel that way, with judgment and condemning all of people. And talking about all that, my lands are so much evil and sin out there we can talk about that. I'm not talking about any of that. This is talking about in our own hearts. We can't be acting like the judge, because the judge is not. And so I'm pointing myself to one that can condemn me. Nobody else recognizes that condemnation of my position. I just recognize it myself. And that really turns people off. That really takes away your ministry. If you're a church member who's doing stuff like that, you're not going to have 35 or 50 people in your Bibles. It's not going to happen. They're not going to let their kids go to a place that's known for just condemning everything. Not standing up for your values, that's fine. But you don't have to do that like every day. And so I have a group of friends that are in the homosexual lifestyle. And I know some of them fairly well. And every day I remind them that you're committing a terrorist. You know, if I tell them one time, they're pretty good at remembering that. They see me, oh, he thinks I'm insane. I don't never say the second time. If I was somehow confused about it, I can do that. And so I can go up to these people. I can say, be careful. One of them, he likes to analyze scripture. He sends me when he does that. He's trying to be Jewish. That's better than not believing in any God, but he's just way out there. And yet, he loves the daddy. He loves what I can say, you did this well. You did that nicely. He appreciates that. So he comes back to me, and he knows how I feel about his lifestyle. But there's a relationship. Every so often I might remind him about something about Scripture or Jesus. And he knows. And so I have to be pointing it out. Who do you? Now, maybe the first time, out of love, you got to let somebody know this is not God's way. It's not the Scripture that agrees with it. You don't get confused, don't you? I saw some Facebook interchange on something like this, and they said, I don't hate homosexuals. I could let them do this. I thought it, but I can also say that morally speaking, God said that's wrong. But I don't want to come across as the person that's the judge, and I'm going to condemn him. And 5 or 10 years is enough for them to remember me saying that God knows that. I don't assume that I'm better than that. Romans 3:23 says, for all the sins of short of the glory of God. Sure. And so thank the Lord, I am not involved in that sin. But there's no way I can say I'm not involved in this sin. There's the sins of doing things, the sins of not doing what you should have done. Like some of you probably need a dozen people that should be here right now. And that's a sin. If they knew the Lord, listen to church, they should be here. That's a sin. There's the sins of saying words we shouldn't say. There's the sin of not saying words we shouldn't say. One of the sad trajectories that our brain saying, some man to see you, some man to see you. I'm missing. Last time I was here, was a broken hand. People around about your age, years old, and I'm missing that. And I really enjoy encouraging them in what they're doing. They're all about acting for Jesus. And I should be encouraging them. We should be encouraging each other. So people aren't like to show up. Like, I'm happy to see you today. Happy to see you. I appreciate your smile. I appreciate your enthusiasm. I appreciate your encouragement. Some of the men here really have impressed me that way. That they are outgoing and warm and welcoming. Women always. We should be doing that. It's sin if we don't tell people we love them or tell somebody it's fine and encouraging. You don't just do that with your grandchildren and say, but you can do that with other people's grandchildren and each other recognize the character qualities that stand out. And then the thing that catches me the most, or maybe you too, is the thoughts. There's thoughts that you think you should not be thinking. And they're just thoughts. Get that thought in your mind and go to something else. Those thoughts we should be thinking. Like, God is amazing. Right? Because none of us is perfect. And hopefully, I need to take a little bit of time right now. Just to praise God for huge character qualities. I try to do that every morning when I first get up. Just because for me, I don't do it enough. That's ways to sin and by doing things I'm not doing. We're all guilty of this. Now let's just deal with an exception right now. Because being like Jesus, you have to love people and sometimes you say no. So a child says, can I go play in the traffic? Or can I go to my friend's house? I know their parents are pros. Can I go there? And you say no. The child says, judge not. Judge not. Is the child using that properly? Absolutely not. Because in fact, the parent has been appointed as the judge by God Himself. Not to condemn anybody because they're better, because they're not. If you look at your children, look at your eyes to your own sin. I know that I didn't see it when my son was 3 months old. I realized that the biggest things that annoyed me about him in sin, he got from me. Oh my man. And if you don't realize your sins are being shown to you by the children, your eyes are closed. Because they learn some good things from you, but they learn the bad things. They do. Bad habits and attitudes and ways to speak. And some people always laugh at the children. Some of them think or something like that. So when they say you can't condemn it, don't judge. No, you actually discern. You're discerning at your age, playing in traffic is not right for the good. In fact, at any age, playing in traffic is probably not the wisest thing unless you're in New York City and that's all you got to play. Then you need to have a lookout or something like that. People misuse that. So they're like, they judge us. You can't judge me because I do this, that sin, and it's because I get drunk every Friday night. You can't judge me. I can't judge you. Not saying I'm better. But I can discerningly repeat what the Scripture said. The Scripture said not to be under the influence of alcohol, but to be under the influence of the Spirit of God. I'm not being judgmental. I'm just discerning. And if we love each other, we need to help others discern things. They need to help us discern things. Now, this discerning business, make it like a really part-time job. Mostly, you need to be loving on people and encouraging them. And very, very occasionally, prayerfully, reaching outside your family to talk to somebody else. It's in your family. Encourage helping your wife learn, and wives helping your husbands. Women, we need your help. We do. Just have to make sure that it's not too big. And the women need our help. The right tone of voice, the right attitude, so it doesn't look like I'm saying I'm better than you. We can do that. But outside our family, it's going to be really tricky. talk to your pastor and say, should I do this? And then he would say, you don't have the right approach. You're not very good. You know, you don't have a right relationship. But I hope that somebody has a relationship with a great relationship with everybody. I hope that everybody in here has to be somebody that can speak into their life. Not as a judge, because they're better. But discerning, helping them to learn what God's will is. You see the difference between being judgmental? I'm better than you. And lovingly help somebody to understand something that they're not seeing. See, if you're like Jesus, that's in verses 35 and 36 is the previous section, which I might have helped the last time here, I'm not sure. And in that section, it says to be merciful, even as your Father is merciful. My wife, I wish you could know her. She is the sweetest woman there is. Except for her mom, who's the sweetest mother-in-law a person could ever have. And she's got dementia now. Can't remember where she lives, can't remember who I am, or who her daughter is. And she's shocked all the time by finding out that my daughter, her daughter is my wife is her daughter. There are three people in the house with my name, John. Everyone. She doesn't remember any of that. And then I've been teaching Bible school in our large group. We had some of our young man and young woman gave testimony to different ways. And the young man gave testimony. He's in here. And he talked about his life, not being right with God. And then he talked about my mother. And he said, with the matriarch of the church, she's united. He's the oldest one. Last one stand. And he said, when she gave her testimony, she just up the road a little bit, east of the shore. She came from there. She was treated terribly. All kinds of abuse and illegality in her childhood. And she trusted Christ as his loving person. It touched him so much that he trusted Christ. And that was such a blessing because Dan, my mother, had not remembered those things for a long, long time. Well, if you told my wife that she was like her mom, this wonderful woman I just talked about, changed a person's life, changed many people's lives, just like her, she'd be happy. Because a daughter should be like their mom. And a son should be like their dad, unless the dad or mom is a scoundrel. You should be able to recognize family examples. And there in verse 36, Jesus is being recorded and saying, there should be a family resemblance. You should look like your Father in heaven, who's merciful. So make sure you make your own merciful. And only occasionally on clarity, that they may understand that there's a spectrum of God. Maybe if you do it, you can also tell me you got a lot of yours. My wife and I did this one time. We had to talk to our children or something. We just said, this has got to change. We've got family power. And I confess that my an attitude sounded good. I wasn't going to be arrested for anything. My wife confessed sin for her. I came here with it. It must have been something. Probably wasn't something side or something. She said good. And we had her children and said, now, listen, there's something in your life that needs to be worked on. And what do you think you should do about that? They turn to the parents, apologize to them, ask forgiveness, ask them for their help. They said, oh, that you do so much. Just tell us what it is, tell us how to do it. You see, if you start with that approach with people, then you're opening and confessing your weakness and your sin. Then it opens the way that they can accept that from you. Now, if you're always coming in and saying, well, I'm better about this, I'm going to teach you this, I'm going to teach you that. Well, I came to my church after the first baptism or two. I baptized a lot of people. You do. One man came up and he said, why need to teach you how to baptize properly? Well, I knew he had something in there. I should listen to it. Boy, what a terrible way to say that. What a terrible way to say that. Do I need to like be better? No. That was not the right word. By the way, he had something I worked on. he detected that when I baptize people, I can push them down to the face. I don't do that. I take the sidearm and push them down, and I pull right back up. And he detected that some of the fingers hadn't been thoroughly immersed. The Baptist members, we got to immerse everything. And I would put it, we did that just that last second, I would push the last 3 inches to make sure that the thumbs don't stay dry. All I can do is helpful. It would have been easier to hear if he comes right at you. Understand what I'm saying? That we don't want to be pointing out the speck in everybody else's eye without letting them realize we're not going to lie. And I just love you so. I would tell you this, maybe you can tell me some stuff that I need to see that I'm missing. And if you come with that kind of an attitude, you're going to say, well, why would you expect and miss the lie you're in? I want this because you're not being like Jesus. You're trying to become the judge. And the second reason is why does you expect you're not wrong? Because you don't realize the consequences. What does it say here? That you're going to be judged by the measure you use. So if you're going to go out and judge all kinds of people by all kinds of main things, God just reminded us, what if God turned around to you and said, I'm going to be as particular with you as all these other people. You're going to have all kinds of tiny things. How about I just, floor you with all little tiny things? You're like a couple of big ones too. Reminding us the consequences of doing this, saying, I'm better than everybody. But what if God decides to show us the good? The consequences are not good. We can think about that. And that helps us be, for me, be more gentle and come across a little bit of loving and standing right. So I have to tell you how to do this. Or, oh, my language, I've never seen a family run. Hey, nobody's doing it. If I started out that way, I would have no way listening to these people. I think I've got a few listening to these people. Thank you very much. You're gracious. The gospel does not say, if you never judge people, if you allow forgiving, you'll be forgiven too. The gospel is realizing that we all are guilty. But God is gracious. And his son died when he didn't deserve it. We can trade places. You can take my sin, I will receive his righteousness. And that really moves a long way. Not only makes people forget it, but it gives us 33 other things happen instantly, but it helps us to be more gentle, understanding, and kind. Coming across with other people, I don't have anything against you. I just want to help increase your testimony for other people. But help me see a little thing, and you've probably seen more things than that in my life. I can't think too many, just tell me one. And if we ask people to tell us one or two things every time we wanted to tell them one, we probably wouldn't have as many people in any judgment. And so we see the spec and miss the law because we're not being like Jesus. We might have family descendants look like Jesus. We do that because we don't realize the consequences of this. That God could nail us with far more than we're trying to do others. Number three, because we criticize others before we practice it ourselves. That's the blind leading the blind in verse 29. I have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what's going on. Let's pick one of us to lead the other. We probably should not spend too much time telling others how to do what we do to ourselves. And so, the people inviting us to prayer meeting, hopefully are the ones that are. The people are going to say, we need to pray more. I hope that on the side, the one stands up and says, let's give generously. I hope that they're the ones who can look generous. And generously, I think that's true. That's true. Because you don't want to be hypocrites. You're not criticizing others for what you're not practicing yourself. And they invent their own religious system. And in that religious system, They let Jesus be like they are. Have you seen that? I mentioned the homosexual movement. I'm not like trying to beat that horse to death. But I mentioned once, so I'll just mention it one more time. If you look at people in that movement and say, how can you be like Jesus? Well, some of them will say, honestly, the Bible does condemn homosexuality. I just reject the Bible. But others say, no, I like Jesus. Jesus loves me. Jesus thinks homosexuality is fine. Why? Well, because I get homosexuality. And you guys do that too sometimes. Because whenever we go against what God says to do, we're really thinking God doesn't know any better, or actually, God knows differently than you know, because God's more like my thinking than your thinking. So I'm the Republican, so God's a Republican. I'm a Democrat, so God's a Democrat. God's more like me than like you. And so now, we're not like finding out what does the Bible objectively say? What does the scripture say? We're just saying, let's cut the chase. We don't have to spend all the time reading the Bible. Just ask me. Because God thinks exactly like I do. Well, those are the kind of people who go out and they're judging. And God is using you to say to them, judge not. Let's be judged. And so finally, talking about that makes a hypocrite. That's the fourth reason why we see specks when we've got blogs that are anonymous. Because we are hypocrites. Verse 42, I'm not being very original here, am I? I'm just picking out what the Bible says. Verse 42, it says hypocrite, hypocrite, hypocrite. And what is hypocrite? What's a hypocrite? And that comes from the play of ancient Greeks. It's for play acting. And there you've got a lot of people watching play, and you can always tell if somebody was a good guy or a bad guy what's going on because they had masks. They put a big mask in front of you, and have a big smile and a big sad, and you can tell what that actor or actress is representing. Actor is representing because the mask showed it. And so we come up with this word hypocrite, because a hypocrite is somebody that's wearing a mask. They're not seeing real them and keeping the mask in front of them. And sadly, there are people who go to Baptist churches. I hear about it occasionally that they've got on one mask on Sunday morning, but Sunday night they're down the street in the pub, and that mask's not on, and they're looking different. And which one is the real one? Not the one in the Baptist church, I have to say. It's the one that's being shown in the local bar. And we can do that too. We put masks on the front side. Make sure you know I'm not doing anything wrong. That's false. That's our whole time. Pretty perfect. Just ask me well. And she can tell you by God's grace, it's used her to help me to grow. And we can do that with each other. We don't want to be hypocrites, but telling others something we don't do, playing a part. And even people sitting here right now doing that. I remember the time when I preached an 8-message series on how to handle anger, how to handle problems without being angry. And afterwards, I remember him thanking me. He was here every week. He said, "Thank you so much, Barry, for that message. It's a really, really good message. Really good message. It's the same thing that we said, right?" And I said, "Well, I have a problem. Here's how I handle it. Here's how I get it. Exactly the opposite of what I preached for 8 weeks." Do you remember when I was preaching for 8 weeks? He says, "Yeah, but this was really difficult. I should have handled that way too." And so there's an example of somebody that sat in church, amen, everything the Bible says, and thought, "But that doesn't apply to me. Is my life, my circumstance, my situation, my problem, my family, my wife, my husband, my job, my life circumstance is unique. So I can just kind of invent my own morality. And you follow the Bible because you have to. But, I've had to walk through, and I'm going to do it your way. I told him how you do it the right way, and you didn't work. How? The Bible actually works. Well, we wouldn't be like Jesus. We would realize the consequences. things ourselves before we try to train others in that particular area. We don't want to be hypocrites. And sometimes people make these mistakes. They're claiming to be followers of Jesus, maybe members of church. I got engaged in it. Church I pastor, and somebody comes up. Years later, I start baptizing. They say, I'm not saying. It's fool me. You can't fool God. I've had several people come up and say, I've never been born again. He was preached on the new heart. I've never received a new heart. I've got no ongoing relationship with Jesus. It's a mask. Take the mask off. Find who you are. Trust in Jesus as Lord and Savior. And then because I think those of you are saved, just reminding you another time. Look here, this is that's a very nice teaching. So that you came in all together. This is for all of us. But we want to guard against that inward thought that when we go to church, we're going to better than people. And that's what the Lord is. And God needs to be useful. Easton so much needs your work. Look how many fewer people come to church these days. There's used before they are. And that's a sign there's a lot of people in society that no longer show up in church because it's the thing you have to do. And it's through you they're going to learn this is the thing that will bring you God's blessing, help you close to Him, and help me to be more like you because they see loving people reaching out and encouraging, understanding. Not people who condemn you. Not people who are stupid. We're going to tell the child, yeah, go out and play in the tractor. It's concerning for people who are acting like judges. Because Jesus says, judge God. And make sure you're not looking for speculative desire. When you have missed the law,